Talk to me, Boulder, Colorado.
Hold on one second. I'm happy where I am, man. I'm good. I got a kickstand down.
We got a few fun stories to dive into as the Buffs prepare themselves to play against Kansas this week. Coach Prime had his weekly press conference. The College Football Playoff Committee just dropped the latest rankings, so you know we've got to point that out and what that means going forward. And a little bit of a elephant in the room, and Coach Prime went ahead and nipped that in the bud pretty quickly. So let's dive into that here on the Prime Time for college football. This video is powered by our partners at BetUS. Check them out. They're hooking up the gamer. 150% bonus on your first deposit of $2,000 by using promo code YouTube150. So we're going to go ahead and look at these polls, these rankings. We're going to talk about this game coming up against Kansas because not only Coach Leipold over at Kansas has some things to say about Coach Prime also has some things to say. He also wanted to address a couple of rumors/speculations going around. So let's look at the polls first. College Football Playoff Committee dropped the latest rankings, and your Buffs landed where? Absolutely. They are the number 16 team in the country right now. So they're right behind Texas A&M and BYU, SMU, right? So going all the way up to Boise State and Tennessee. So for Colorado, they are in an uphill battle to get into the playoffs. As of now, it's going to need to be a win in the Big 12 championship game. If the Buffs close out and win that, which they can right now, the team in front of us, in front of the squad, is Kansas. That's going to be a challenge because Kansas has been playing good, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But the Buffs, they hold their own destiny in their hands. So luckily going on the road right now, the spread on that game is sitting at -3, and you can get that number over there at BetUS. Our partners sponsoring the video, they're hooking you up, 150% bonus on your first deposit of $2,000. They'll also give you 125% bonus on your second and third deposits up to $2,000 by using the promo code YouTube150. And so right now the Buffs are -3 going into that game. I don't know how much longer that will stand because it feels like a lot of the people are putting their money down on Colorado to take it. So the number could move up, could possibly move down because, again, I mentioned Kansas has been playing much better ball than they have before. But, hey, all that matters is that the Buffs are the favorites. And if you want to take advantage of it, hit up BetUS, 150% bonus on your first deposit, $2,000, 125% on your second and third. Use our promo code YouTube150 over at BetUS, where the game begins. And so with the competition coming up, Colorado, of course, Coach Prime has some things to say. Had to talk about Coach Lance Leipold. He mentioned in his press conference today that he considers him a friend. That probably was pretty good, pretty big. You know, he said, I love him to life. He's a friend. I have the utmost respect and regards of him and his team. So, yeah, he's keeping an eye on him. And, you know, last couple of years, Lance Leipold has turned around that Kansas program to the point of he got an extension, a big one, and they're doing renovations. I mentioned that the game is played at Arrowhead Stadium because they ain't got no stadium in Kansas right now in Lawrence. They don't have it in Lawrence because they're renovating because of the success that Lance Leipold's had. So, for Colorado running up against them, the one thing that the Buffs are going to keep in mind is that Kansas, the last two games, they've knocked off ranked teams in the Big 12. They knocked off, they lost to Kansas State on the road in Manhattan, but then Iowa State came to town. They beat Iowa State, and then they traveled to BYU and knocked off BYU and knocked out their undefeated season. So, because of that, there's a tie at the top between BYU and Colorado for the top team in the Big 12. What helps BYU is that their only loss is to Kansas, and now Kansas is looking to be the spoiler once again. And so as Colorado gets up to Kansas City, they can't play around. They're going to have to ball out. But other thing, too, is during the press conference, Prime and him, as you saw in the video at the beginning of this, is he's dancing with Miss Peggy. They celebrated her 100th birthday at the press conference, so she got to be there and hang out. So she was there to kick it and enjoy the festivities of the press conference. And so, but Prime talked about a few players. One, Michael Welch, running back. He mentioned that he expects him to play again this season. Just got to get him healthy. And he's also hoping that one big player jumps out. Jimmy Horn Jr. He said that if he can run on tomorrow on Thursday, show he can run, he's expecting to play. And the beauty of Jimmy Horn Jr. playing is that he just commands attention. And that's going to be something that can put stress on that Kansas defense. And that's exactly what Prime is hoping for. I'm hoping that it happens too, right? And the good thing for Colorado is that BYU plays Arizona State this weekend. And so if Arizona State pulls the upset, Colorado wins, they're in the lone spot of the top team in the Big 12. Makes it a little bit easier to get into that Big 12 championship game, but I digress. Jimmy Horn Jr. coming back would be huge. It just, like I said, it just adds an additional component. But I mean, Draylon Miller has done a fantastic job out there when he got the opportunity. He was the only receiver that got 100 yards last game. So I don't see too big of a problem. But from there, Prime was, of course, asked about the most important, the big elephant that was in the room, that's been in the room for the last few days, as everybody has been trying to find a reason that Coach Prime needs to leave and go coach another team. Try to find a reason to get him up out the paint in Colorado. I honestly don't understand why. He said it numerous times. He's enjoying himself and he's enjoying the ride. And he was asked about it. And he said, "I'm happy where I am. I got a kickstand down. I am resting good, happy, excited, enthusiastic about where I am. I love it here." So honestly, that's a raving endorsement for you all there in Boulder that Coach Prime's willing to say that, right? Exciting times, and to be able to see that you've got all these players and these the staff and the coaching staff just excited about being there at Colorado, and there's nothing better than that. So shout out to not only you all there in Boulder for doing that, but I got yourselves a Prime forever. He ain't going nowhere. He's going to enjoy himself there from now on. So let me know what y'all think. Hop in those comments. Can Colorado close this out? Do you feel like the Buffs have a chance to win this Kansas game? We'll look at them a little bit deeper later in the week as we prepare for the game, because to be honest, man, this game right here, it's huge. This is a huge one because, as I mentioned before, Kansas has been knocking off a lot of the competition. So they've been trying to find a way to get their own dubs. And by them doing that, yeah, they're going to be coming for Colorado. So you got to make sure that ain't no games played. You got to make sure that you focus and pay attention and you really go in there locked in. And I think Prime's got that. But the good thing is him going in and pointing out that, hey, I'm good where I'm at. I'm happy where I'm at. That's probably the most important thing for even just the stability overall for Colorado. So Buffs move up to 16. They celebrate Miss Peggy's birthday at 100. All the excitement is right there. So let me know what y'all think. We'll chop it up about Kansas later. We'll have that posted up probably later in the week. And yeah, any news drop down, we'll let you know. Chop it up later.